Welcome back to another episode of the Lofty Lenders Homebuyer Education, where we explore tips, tricks, and stories that can help you plan for your next home purchase. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a move-up buyer, an investor, or just looking to learn more, we hope you gain a little bit of knowledge today. And I was laughing to start this whole episode because Charlie is ridiculous.
We gotta
Too
have
much energy.
fun, Kyle. Because
Too much
sometimes
energy on a
it's
Wednesday.
no, well, they're sugar. Sorry.
Today we're talking about some things that rarely show up on a rate sheet or online advertisements or really anything we can show off too often. But that is us. That's our personality. And some of the things that I think make us, besides Charlie being pretty, fun to work with, right? So
100%.
this all came about today because I ran into a realtor who I've worked with in the past. And she said, "Hey, Kyle, good on you for showing up to closing." And I thought,
Wait, what?
"Wait, what? What do you mean showing up to closing? And do you think I don't go to my closing?" She goes, no. I hardly ever see lenders at closings. And so I just think it's really cool that you showed up. I said, this is one of the few times I actually get to meet my people in person. And most times people don't want to come to the office ahead of time. They're little accessible as far as going places. So I love going to closing. But how about you, Charlie? Do you go to closings?
It it drives me nuts when we don't go to closings. I mean, you've subbed for me. Sarah will sub once in a while. I'll sub for you. We really, that's one of the best parts. One, it's fun. I mean, we actually get to celebrate, and you either got your refinance done or you got your new house bought. It's an exciting time, and it's a really scary time too for most people. So we want to be there for both. That way it's calming. A lot of emotions come up. I mean, what do you see when you go? I mean, just sit there quiet in the corner or?
Pretty much. Yeah, I just try to be as quiet as possible. Church mouse. I'm just here. Everybody wants to make a joke about my beautiful face and my good looks. My height, actually, that's really the joke. But no, I mean, in reality, going to closing is the most fun because even if it's a refinance, it's not super fun,
Oh,
but you're saving money. And
100%.
I get to talk to people, and I'm thinking about some clients that I'm working with right now. I got to meet them in person at closing, and I've stayed in contact with them ever since. And now they came back because they want to buy another house. And it's, had I not gone to closing, I wouldn't have that relationship. I just don't know how you do that.
Yeah. Well, and that's really what we strive for, is to have this be a relationship process. Most people think it's going to be click me, buy me, and everybody can do the same thing. First and foremost, no. I mean, everything we're going to look at is making sure that the pieces that don't necessarily have to be involved are involved, because then you get the best results, the most comfort, the least amount of stress. But closing, again, as much fun as it is, we love celebrating. It can still be stressful. I can't imagine not having loan officer there. And some realtors don't go. Imagine having nobody there.
Right.
But we get to reinforce that you did a great job. All the stuff you've been working towards, here's what it is. It's your fixed rate. It's here's your first payment. Just all that reinforcing and making sure people can have that pat in the back and a high five. It's a great day. I don't know why more loan officers don't go, but we really pride ourselves and we want to be there for you and with you, not just get you in and kick you out. We're here for you.
I think that speaks to the point of how this is a relationship business. And we've had a few times where things haven't gone as well as the customer had hoped, right? Whatever it may be. Sometimes it's, I asked for a bank statement and that customer just got so upset that I asked for a bank statement. I'm sorry, it's part of the process. I had to ask for it. It's not something that we do intentionally to upset you. It is something that is coming from the underwriter, right? But from the flip side, going to closing can sometimes smooth all that out. Yeah. I've gone to closings and talked to somebody over the phone who was just nasty and hated my guts. And then I got to meet her in person. It was a her, so not this time, but I got to meet her in person and she loves me now. And it's just, we have that person to person relationship. If it's over the phone or even through text message, people can get kind of snarky through text. I can get kind of snarky through text.
Yeah. Well, and everything we do is, it's needed, it's not wanted. Even though you may want it back here, the need is just like, I'm busy, get out of here. You're asking for too much stuff. And the nature of our business is just nuances. It's like doing your taxes. Everybody hates it. They know they need to get it done. They want their refund, whatever. But yeah, that in-person meeting. I had one the other day. The guy was just very frustrated the last 4 or 5 days before closing. And I'm like, what is going on? This really turned out better than we thought. Just a little bit here and there. It was great. He was just done. He'd lost a house before because of a condition issue. And this one, I mean, it's just like it went on too long. It's like, well, it didn't really take that long. It's a normal process. But for us, not for the person that's in the buyer's seat. And so getting the fun part and getting to be the human versus, like you said, a text or an email. It's hard to put personality with us when it's just text, emails. Phone calls go well. We'll try to do a video in there just to keep it lively, but it's totally different than being in person.
That brings up another story. Yesterday, I picked up the phone and called a gentleman after having an email or a text exchange with him a couple days before, and he was just getting upset about every little thing on text message, and it was standard process. Hey, I need your bank statements, your pay stubs. We're just, congratulations on getting under contract. Now here's the few steps that we need to get started, and everything seemed like, wow, what did I do? Why is he so upset? And I got on the phone with him and he explained, well, I just got into a car accident and I hit a deer and my truck's probably totaled. And so that's going wrong. And then I got something else going on, my personal life, that's going wrong. And so just getting him on the phone and talking it through and explaining how, you know, I'm going to tell you about the entire process right now. I want you to know about the next 30 days of what this is going to look like. Cause he said, well, I want to buy a new truck. So can we just close this loan in a couple of days and just be all done? I'm like, okay, well, we're going to educate you on how this process works and how it does take time. And, I want you to understand ahead of time. So that way you're not going into this thinking you can buy a truck next week, because unfortunately that's not going to happen, especially since you have to finance it. But
Yeah. And not if
it
you
works
want
out well.
this to go well. Yeah. And I truly, the more, if we could go back to before COVID, you and I really tried to get people in the office to start. It made the whole process that much better. And so we try to do those video calls and do more phone calls to start. So that way you can have that close to face type of interaction. But yeah, the in-person, it changes so much. And not having that at the beginning makes the rest of the process tricky if we can't try to supplement it somehow.
And I've even started shifting more towards using Zoom, because Zoom allows me to use that AI voice
Yeah.
recorder, right? And it records the entire transcription, tells me how fast I talk. Apparently, I try to run through too much information too quickly and I talk way too fast. But it also tells me, hey, you said you were going to do this, Kyle. Here's a reminder that you need to do that. So I do really like those videos, things like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all need the reminders. There's so much data from us to the buyer, the consumer, but there's a lot of questions back. And we're just as easy to forget, a piece or a question that is important, but it's not necessary. And so we really focus on so many necessaries. And sometimes the ancillaries, you get pushed a little later than you want, or if it's, I get phone calls in the car and I'll forget driving home. Like, guys, you got to text me that question, because I will forget by the time I hit my driveway.
So being in a world where, just like every industry that's out there, we are one person or one team that can offer a product that many others can offer as well. What do you feel that we offer that sets us apart from all those other loan officers in town and also throughout the country?
I think the biggest thing that you and I are pretty good at, again, we don't toot our own horn very often, but we really strive for, and again, we're all human. They'll have days it doesn't work, but it's really being relatable and making something fairly complex into something that people can actually start to understand. It's not going to be perfect. Everybody has their different level, but making it to where you're actually learning something, you're getting benefit beyond what you even thought possible, because we do want your budget to be good, to understand why we pick one program versus the other, and have all of the ancillaries come into play. You've got reserves. We're not required to tell you that saving money is a good idea as a homeowner because things are expensive. That's something that we just want to try and build into the process so you can be a successful homeowner and not have those stresses later. Not just get the house, but actually be successful. I don't think a lot of people even understand that half the time. They're struggling with their own stuff, and we really want to practice what we like. But the conversations we have, I mean, what have you heard lately? I know I've got a few examples, but what have you had with some peers at other lenders, and you're like, why do you guys do it that way compared to what we try to do?
Well, I mean, me personally, going through the process of building my house, I've had to talk to just some people that are a part of my process. And even through that piece of it, you notice how willing or unwilling people are to pick up the phone and make a phone call, right? It's as simple as knowing that you just got a contract and reaching out to the listing agent to introduce yourself. We don't have to do that, right? But the listing agent feels a lot better knowing that they're able to talk to the loan officer, divulge any details about the buyer. And we don't do it for that purpose. We do it so that people know we're all in this together. We're protecting your commission as the listing agent, the buyer's agent. We want this house to close. I mean, we don't want to be that lender that just willy-nilly gives pre-approvals out and doesn't follow through on it. If we give a pre-approval, that thing better close, because I put my name on the line here for that and my reputation's on the line. And I've called out the listing agent to say, hey, I'm working on this. Call me if you have questions. If I turn around and tell the buyer they're denied, I'm going to probably get a phone call. So I put myself out there. on purpose. It's kind of like telling people, Charlie, my goal is to lose 20 pounds. Well, now I know you're going to harass me until I lose my 20 pounds. It's kind of that accountability that we put ourselves in because we're confident in what we do. And that communication is huge. I mean, just knowing
Yes.
that we communicate so well with realtors. I mean, I've gotten so many compliments about our weekly phone calls and our weekly emails. Those emails that go out at the end of the week just to kind of wrap things up. People love those. I've gotten more and more compliments about those every single day. So it's just been phenomenal to know that I found a partner like yourself that is as passionate about communicating with everyone involved in the process as I am.
Yeah. And to your point with the weekly emails that go out and phone calls or texts, whatever, but it's that consistent communication, the ability to just let everybody know, like you mentioned, we can't say everything that's going on, but if there's an issue and people can trust that everything's on schedule, but at the same time, we do have things that go off schedule. Last week, I put the flag up on Friday. It's like, guys, we had a problem come up. It's fine. We will get it fixed, but there's going to be a potential delay. And so everybody then flooded me because I, was expecting that call. But they came down to, I was like, okay, well, we appreciate knowing, and speaking up when there's a problem is just as big or bigger than it is when there's good news. I mean, most people will go quiet and go completely MIA if there's a problem. And we don't like there to be problems. There rarely are, but sometimes it's a borrower-based thing. Sometimes it's a seller-based thing. Sometimes it's an us thing. I mean, if we can't verify something and we've tried, we've got to ask for help. We've got to say, hey, we're stuck. And no matter what site it is, once that offer's written, we're the quarterback. Everybody looks to us, and they should, because we're the one who at that point has all the pieces and just need to make sure everybody's on the right spot. But for lenders who don't participate and you can't get a hold of them, or any professional, it's just more stress. And why? I don't understand why people want to do that to themselves, let alone the people that are trusting with hiring you to do your job.
Absolutely. So why do you think buyers, and I think I've noticed this exponentially over the last few months, but why do you think buyers are overwhelmed in today's market?
I think just in general, I mean, I look at what you and I have, and we manage certain things well, and there's things we don't manage well. I think we all just have too many things going, and the expectations of what we should get done, maybe not can get done. I mean, we can do it, but when you're always on and there's so many activities and work and I mean, anything else, it's not just one piece. You got to cross over, and you really got to multitask a lot more than I think what we used to. And sometimes it's easy, and sometimes bigger ticket items like buying a house, changing jobs, whatever. When it gets to the kid stuff, we just had our first, senior graduate from high school. I was not thinking that was a big deal. It wore me out. I didn't even feel like I had to do a whole lot different. It was just something new I'd never dealt with. So the emotional stress, if you will. And it's like you building the house. You do that for everybody every day. And there's a couple times you and I were talking through your stuff and you're like, why can't I do this for myself? And it's just because you had so many things in your head, cabinets and countertops and faucets and flooring, all the
I've
stuff
been
that you
very
don't.
intentionally thinking about like, okay, how am I going to do my mortgage? When am I going to get started? I'm being very intentional about this and I'm
Yeah.
still probably going to miss it. I'm going to be delayed,
But I mean,
whatever.
you have so many extra things added to your plate. And so whenever you get into something new, then those extra things can really wear on us. And I don't know, it's nuts. The ages of, life where you getting out of school and you getting your job and then married and then kids and then, whatever order it is. One at a time ain't bad, but it never fails. You get something else that gets thrown in there. So it's very tricky. And I've been watching you with your new build because I've always wanted to build and I've never had where we did. And I'm like, I don't know if I could handle this. I've done a lot of projects on other people's properties, my rental properties, but your build, I've been impressed how you've handled it. Because I mean, it's something that you were able to, piece together and learn something that you kind of knew but never done it yourself. And then you get into the weeds. You didn't stress out near as much as I thought, at least that I saw.
That's what you've seen. So this morning I woke up at 4 a.m. thinking about my property taxes and how they're going to be
Zero.
stupid.
Not the first year.
No, not the first year. But my neighbor was like, oh yeah, they're going to get up really high. And I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean really high? I looked at his house. Oh, my tax, Madison County is expensive in taxes. That's for sure.
Well,
All right. So 3 actionable takeaways today. And we didn't talk about these too in depth, but I'll just go over them now. So number 1, interview your lender like you would your realtor. Ask who actually will answer your calls on nights and weekends. One thing I always tell people is you're going to get my personal cell phone, so you can call me on nights, weekends, days, evenings, whenever. Don't abuse that, please. But my wife, she knows that if a phone call comes in, I'm going to take it. I'm going to step away real quick, make sure I can answer any questions, make sure I can take care of you so that you're feeling comfortable and confident with everything. But just make sure that you're interviewing your lender to know that they're willing to do that. Because if you're talking to somebody who only works 9 to 5 and you got to call them on a weeknight because you're freaking out about something, if they're not available, they're not available, and you freak out all night long until 9 a.m. the next morning, which is a long ways to wait. Trust me,
Mm.
I've had to wait myself. Number two, don't rely only on rate, but compare the experience as well. So oftentimes you can look online and you can always find a cheaper rate. It's just like if you go to the store and you want to buy cookies, you can always find cheaper cookies out there. Does it mean that they're better? Not necessarily, but you can always find something cheaper. You can
It
always find
could
a
be awful.
cheaper, lower rate, right? But that doesn't mean that you're actually going to be able to close. I've had so many people say, well, I went to that lender because they had the lower rate, but then they couldn't get the loan closed because they're really good at advertising rates. They're not really good at advertising how to close on a loan. So think about the experience overall. And finally, work with people who educate instead of persuade. So our job, as Charlie and I always talk about, is how we want to educate you throughout the process. We're not trying to push you into anything. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is our spreadsheet. We didn't talk about that much today, but we use that spreadsheet or a new tool that we've been using online to compare options side by side so that you can see that there's multiple options to you. You're not being told you're pre-approved, go buy a house. It is, you're pre-approved. Here's several different options. What makes sense to you? We want to educate you so that you can make an informed decision and feel confident knowing that you made that choice. Somebody didn't make that for you.
Couldn't agree more. That summary was
Perfect. Well, we hope you enjoyed the conversation today and found it valuable. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms, subscribe to the podcast for more exciting episodes, and like this video. And remember, stay curious. We'll see you next week on The Lofty Lender.